We've had crunchy moms, we've had silky moms, now it's time for almond moms. I'm probably behind the times on this one, but I just learned about almond moms. YouTube was recommending me some shorts from Tyler Bender, specifically her van life parody shorts. She does this fake van life influencer with a bunch of kids.
Today, my 17-year-old son Xavier has his first date. And you know we're doing it van life style. So first things first, I went to the 7-Eleven and got them stuff to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I'm too afraid to look up whether that's true or not. Like, are there really people living with a bunch of kids in an RV, like choosing to do that? I don't want to know. Anyway, then I saw some of her almond mom characters.
You skipped the gym today. You need to make sure you hit your 10 to 20 laps. You can get your friends involved. It'll be fun. They'll love it. Back in my day, we either did cheerleading or we just ran in circles until we felt like we burned off our lunch. But times have changed. We're hungry. Can we get a snack? Well, I feel like you just had lunch, so let's hold off until dinner.
So as you probably guessed, an almond mom is a mom who, or a dad, could be a dad too, a parent who is obsessed with dieting, not only for themselves, but for their children, right? So keeping their children on a diet, helping them stay thin. I don't know who coined the term. I don't think anyone does. I think it was just like a social media thing, but it was inspired by former model Yolanda Hadid and a comment she made on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her daughter, Gigi Hadid, tells her mom that she's feeling weak, that she's barely eaten anything, to which Yolanda replies, "Have a couple of almonds and chew them really well." Obviously not great considering when this happened. This was back in 2014. That's when the clip is from. So Gigi would have been around 17, 18 years old. Telling a grown adult basically not to eat when they are weak from hunger, that would be bad enough. Telling a growing child not to eat? Borderline abusive? To be fair, Yolanda says the clip has been taken totally out of context. It happened right after she came out of surgery, so she was still really groggy. However, she did make some other comments on the show suggesting that maybe something like this wasn't totally out of character. You can have one night of being bad, then you gotta get back on your diet because you know, in Paris and Milan, they like the girls just a tad on the skinny side. I've watched a lot of Tyler's Almond Mom shorts and I've read a lot of the comments, and honestly, I'm kind of confused. While many of the Almond Mom behaviors are obviously toxic.
If they want dessert, make sure you tell them that they have to do 100 jumping jacks and 2 rounds of Just Dance, and then we have a Halo Top in the freezer. It's hidden. I'll show you where. But they can each just split a serving and it will be great.
They're not.
All right, the kids' meal prep is in these blue Tupperwares. They can pick any one they'd like. You just put it in the microwave and it's good to go.
What's wrong with meal prepping? Virtually all dietitians, dietetic organizations, I don't know of any who don't recommend eating more home-cooked meals and less processed foods, and meal prepping is one way to do that.
Oh, and if you want any snacks, we have Skinny Pop, we have Greek yogurt, and I think we have Fresca.
So healthier snacks, that's bad? It's literally what's recommended for children and adults. So to me, there seems to be two different almond mom. There are the almond moms who give like unhealthy eating advice and even say like don't eat and really focus on weight. And then there are the almond moms who limit how much processed food their kids can eat. They're not the same thing. Telling your daughter to eat a couple of almonds when she's hungry is not the same thing as emphasizing healthy snacks and not letting your kids eat cookies whenever they want. Criticizing your child's weight is not the same thing as meal prepping. What the fuck? I'm guessing all of this stems from intuitive eating or fat acceptance movement, health at every size. These beliefs that dieting is bad and probably or even necessarily leads to eating disorders, and that obesity is fine, right? Someone's weight tells you basically nothing about their health. These beliefs are false. I won't go into detail because I already have several videos on these topics. I have one on dieting and eating disorders. I have one on health at every size and obesity, and I have one on intuitive eating. Basically, the vast majority of people who diet do not develop eating disorders. Obesity is strongly linked to numerous health conditions, and evidence for intuitive eating is seriously lacking. I'm not saying eating disorders don't matter. I used to make myself throw up in an effort to stay thin. It's not fun. But avoiding dieting or limiting sugary foods because you're afraid that yourself or your children will develop an eating disorder, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense once we look at the numbers. The World Health Organization says 2.8 million people die each year due to excess body fat. And in 2020, 39 million children under 5 years old were overweight or obese. 318 people died in 2019 from an eating disorder. People are not dying from dieting. They are dying from not dieting. The World Health Organization again says children's diet and physical activity habits are influenced by their surrounding environment, and these influences are promoting unhealthy weight gain. To prevent obesity, we need to eat more healthy foods and less unhealthy foods.
Gushers, we have fruit roll-ups, we have pizza rolls.
Is that like safe for something special, or can we just like have them like right now, like if we want?
You can just have them. Hey, Mom, Tyler wants pizza rolls.
I don't see how loading our houses with gushers and pizza rolls is promoting a healthy food environment. Growing up, I was fortunate enough to have the opposite of an almond mom. A Snickers mom, a gushers mom, a second freezer for ice cream mom. My mom did cook dinner like every single night. I don't remember her not cooking dinner. We definitely had pizza and stuff, but she often cooked, and we always had fresh fruit available, but we also had all of the snacks, like all of the snacks, the gushers and the fruit roll-ups and the fruit snacks and the ice cream and the cereal, the array of cereal we had. Like, we would have 10 plus different kinds of cereal at one time. I remember my brother and I would actually get my mom to go to a separate Kroger or Cecil's, whatever it was at the time, to get the Rice Krispie treat cereal, because that was like our favorite. And she would go to a whole other store that was farther away just to get us some sugary cereal. I mean, can you ask for a better mom? I remember eating an entire frozen pizza just by myself. I just wanted to see if I could, and there was no one to stop me. I remember my dad bringing home, not every Friday, but several Fridays, he would come home after work and he would have a bag of chocolates, like those chocolate coins. And the funny thing is, I was an intuitive eater. Like, I ate what I wanted when I was hungry. I stopped when I was full. I never ever felt guilty about what I ate. I actually thought dieting was stupid. And while luckily I didn't gain weight eating this way, clearly I was not healthy. I ate so much nutrient poor, high calorie processed foods. And many kids do gain weight, right? They do gain weight having such unfettered access to processed foods, and many of them stay overweight their whole lives. I have 3 kids now, and while I am definitely not an almond mom, I'm definitely not a second freezer for ice cream kind of mom. Although we do have a second freezer, and I think it does have ice cream in it right now. It has other stuff too, though. I think it only has 1 pint of ice cream, so. My 6 and 4-year-olds know that there are healthy and unhealthy foods and that we limit unhealthy foods. They know there is a difference between broccoli and candy. I was trying to think of something with a B, broccoli and bonbons. I don't think they know what a bonbon is. I don't know what a bonbon is. We adopted the Swedish tradition Saturday sweets, maybe like a year or so ago now. We do it on Sunday, so Sunday sweets. They literally get a plate of candy every Sunday, and sometimes like an ice cream cone or something later too. And honestly, the only reason I give them as much like sugary processed stuff as I do is because number 1, they're cavity free, and number 2, they have a very low risk for obesity. If either of those things changed, I would definitely be more strict. We would definitely like restrict sweets to Sunday sweets. And look, I'm sure my kids would be shocked going to a house that's full of chips and candy and stuff. They'd probably be excited. Just like a kid with a stay-at-home mom would probably be shocked, probably excited to go to a latchkey kid's house. Kids are often excited by things that aren't good for them. I am not saying that I have all the answers, that I know exactly how to balance eating healthy with indulgence. I don't. But given the state of things, it is clear that filling our homes with nutrient-poor, hyper-palatable foods like pizza rolls and gushers is not the answer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much to my patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I do post 2 exclusive videos there a month for $5 plus patrons. I have both videos up for September, including a Q&A that I did for patrons. And I gotta go make some baked ziti. Thanks, guys. New video soon. I've been making this baked ziti. This will be like my 3rd or 4th time making it. It's so simple. Just pasta, obviously, penne or whatever. Use rotini, I guess, if you want. And you cook that. And you put that in a 9x13 with your pasta sauce. I like the Trader Joe's. Pour a whole thing, 25 ounces, 24, whatever it is. Pour that in there. Put some crumbles, whatever, vegan beef crumble. You can do a homemade TVP thing or a store-bought. I just use whatever I can find at the store, usually the Gardein beef crumbles. 2 to 3 cups of those in there. So mix that all together, the pasta, the tomato sauce, the marinara, and the crumbles. And then on top, you use the Miyoko's pizza cheese. What? It's so perfect for this. So you just you do like a thin layer, right? Just like you would on pizza. You do a thin layer over the top of the whole thing. Don't mix it in, just leave it on top. And then you can put some Parmesan on there if you want. I like the Violife Parmesan. Shred some of that, put that on top. Put it in the oven for whatever, I don't know, 30 minutes, something like that. And oh, it's so good. It's so good. The cheese works perfectly for that because it browns and oh, it's delicious. I actually kind of think this comment from Yolanda Hadid can be defended. Probably get in trouble for that. But like, yeah, look, the framing isn't great, right? One night of being bad probably could have been worded better. But Gigi wanted to follow in her mom's footsteps. She wanted to be a model, which typically means being thin. You can argue that, Yolanda shouldn't have encouraged her daughter to be a model, given it promotes unattainable beauty standards for many. It can be bad for the models themselves, right? If they're eating like really unhealthfully to maintain that thin size. But I don't know, man. There might be some perks. I also thought this was kind of weird, and I saw this in a couple of her shorts. I'm guessing this is more of a thing for her. I don't know if she like grew up with a quote-unquote almond mom.
I think those are too tight. Make sure to do a couple squats to make sure they fit.
Why is that bad to say? I don't know. Why is that bad? If I'm taking my kids shopping and they put something on and it's too tight, I can't say anything? Like I can't... Like in one case, she even says like, oh, you're not going to be comfortable. What is wrong? Yeah, what's wrong with saying, hey, that looks really tight. Sweetie, you might not be comfortable sitting in that all day long. I wish my mom had told me that the low-rise jeans I bought, because holy shit, were they uncomfortable. I mean, look, my mom telling me that, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't know. I just found that very odd, right? So she's not saying like, oh, you look fat in that or something. That would be bad. Just, hey, that doesn't fit you. What? I actually don't know what a silky mom is. I've seen it before, I think on Instagram. It was like crunchy versus silky, and she was like talking about like brands. I don't know. I didn't understand. I'm gonna look it up. Are you a silky mom, a crunchy mom, or a scrunchy mom? Oh my goodness, which one am I? Okay, so the crunchy, the one who bought the aesthetic wooden toys and is still breastfeeding a preschooler. Okay, at the opposite end lives the silky one. Okay, I should have guessed that. The silky parent buys the good sugary snacks, eschews essential oils as a first line of medical treatment, and embraces screen time as a parenting tool. All right, so me. Consider the silky parent a long overdue corrective, or at least alternative to other forms of parenting that seem to dominate Facebook and parenting message boards in the last decade or so. It's a natural conclusion after years of being told that there was a right way to be pregnant, give birth, and parent. I mean, look, there are right ways to do certain things. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that we put a lot of stock into just like doesn't seem to matter. There's no evidence that it really makes a difference. Oh yeah, okay, I was gonna say there's like a middle ground between crunchy and silky. There's a middle too. The scrunchy parent offers a balance, a way to dip your toe in both worlds and take what you like from each, guilt-free, to pick and choose between trust your gut, mama. Ugh. And you should really see a doctor about that. If Gwyneth was the queen of the crunchies, Julia Fox feels like she could rule the scrunchies. Who? Unfortunately, I don't think there's any celebrity equivalent of a silky mom, because inside every famous parent is an almond mom waiting to be rescued. Wait, the almond mom wants to be rescued. Wait, what? What's that even mean?